Hello and welcome to Between the Books. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Isadora.
And today we're going to be talking about The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which is the first book in the Off-Campus series. This is really exciting. The show also recently came out, so we're going to be giving you our thoughts on the first season, as well as our activity, which was visiting some of the shooting locations for the show.
Yeah, and that was really fun, so we're excited to talk about that.
Before we dive in, Isadora, what are you currently reading?
Okay, so continuing my House of Night saga, for those of you who have listened to the previous episodes, I am currently reading book 5 called Hunted. Not gonna go into it. I've been talking about it in the past.
What happens in book 5? I have to know. We're 5 books into this series.
I'm not gonna spoil book 5.
Yeah, like just what's happening. What supernatural encounter are our protagonists up against?
The thing is with this book series, the funny thing is that each book takes place it's like a week. Each book. So it's been like 3 months since this girl has turned into a vampire. Truly. I know. I think the last book took place, it was 4 days. So right now, shit's going down. This is when the book's getting pretty intense. Because before, there was a villain, but they were kind of going around the villain. But right now, the villain's out in the open. Shit's going down. I'm having a grand old time. But yeah, that's Hunted by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. Shannon, what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading Daggerbound.
Right.
You might remember from last episode, I was approved for an arc of it. It's a sequel to Swordheart. I looked it up, and Swordheart came out 7 years ago. I only read Swordheart last year, but this is a very long-awaited sequel. My first thoughts is I'm having the time of my freaking life. I love this book so much, and I'll let you know more once I finish it.
Exciting!
So, Isadora, tell us what this book is about.
Hannah has a crush on a guy who doesn't know she exists. Garrett's GPA has plummeted after a bad assignment. Together, they strike a deal. Hannah will tutor Garrett in order to help him stay captain of the hockey team, and Garrett will pretend to be Hannah's boyfriend to make him notice her. However, as they spend more time together, they grow closer, and now Garrett is only interested in convincing Hannah that maybe he should be the one she wants.
So, like always, maybe we should start with our overall thoughts on the book. Do you want to go first?
Yes, I will go first. I have many thoughts.
As do I.
Yes. We've been discussing this offline. Off campus. So true. And I'm more, Shannon obviously will go into her thoughts, but I feel like I'm more forgiving of what happens in this book. I've read quite a lot of romance, and I went into this already knowing what it was going to be like, and I already knew that the writing wasn't going to be the best. I already knew that overall it was not going to be good, but I knew that it was going to be something that was easy to read. And for me, kind of that addicting feeling that I can so I've read that book in under 24 hours. It's just an easy read that it's just trashy book that I eat that shit up. Especially movies, I'm always looking for a trashy romance that it's just bad, but I can turn off my brain and read. So this is what it felt like for me. If I'm being very critical and analyzing it a lot, which obviously I am for this podcast, I know that it's not a good book, but was I entertained? And when I turned off my brain, was I able to enjoy it? Yes, I was. I had a good time.
I'm so happy for you.
Shannon, tell me, how was your experience?
So I did not like this book very much at all.
Yeah, fair.
I have a fun game for you, which is that I looked up how many contemporary romance books I have read in the last 6 years.
Wow.
According to Goodreads, and also just my memory.
Okay, can I guess? Can you give me
I'll give you a guess.
No,
I'm including this book.
Yes.
In the numbers.
No, are you gonna give me a multiple choice?
No, you just gotta guess.
And I'm trying to think of books we've read together. Last 6 years.
In the last 6 years.
Okay, for this podcast, we've read this and Deep End.
Yes. Deep End is on the list.
I know that we've read One Last Stop together.
One Last Stop is on the list, yes.
I don't think we've read any other books, romance books together. In our side book club. I can't remember if we've read another one. Would you count? And this is contemporary, you said, right?
This is contemporary romance. So I'm not counting fantasy romance.
Yeah.
Of which I've actually read quite a bit.
Okay, I'm gonna just add one more just to just as a buffer. Was it 4 books?
You nailed it. It's 4 books.
Oh my god.
In the last 6 years.
Wow.
So I'm not a connoisseur of the genre by any means.
I should have gotten my rating. Why didn't you tell me this was, or not my rating, my like average? You should have told me this.
Well, I don't know. You could figure it out
I'm
quickly.
going to figure out, like, literally just from the past year. Like, from this year and last year.
Is it more than 4 in the past year?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I was going to say, and One Last Stop has some sci-fi elements, and the one that...
I suppose, yeah.
And the other one that I read is a YA book. It's a YA contemporary romance. So,
Wait, do we count the Foxhole Court?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I guess
it's not a romance.
It's not a romance. You're so right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Please continue. Your thoughts.
But I did not like this book very much. In fact, it takes a lot for a book to be 1 star for me. Because if I dislike a book, it's usually 2 stars for me. I'm just like, well, that book was not for me. And guys, I was going in knowing it was trashy. I was going in knowing it was the writing was probably going to be bad. I was going in. I was so desperately trying to have fun with it. Truly, I was not trying to go in a hater. I want to find a contemporary romance book that I enjoy. I just don't read the genre very much because I think of this book as the genre. Unfortunately, that didn't help my perception of it. No. But I truly do want to... This didn't stop me from reading contemporary romance. In fact, it almost makes me want to read more. Because I'm like, surely there must be a good one.
Yeah, no, I definitely have good recommendations for
There's
you.
There's got to be a good one.
This is not where you want to go to. If this isn't already your genre that you like reading, this is not what you want to go with.
Like, for example, Deep End in my head has only gotten better with time.
Oh, that's crazy. Crazy.
Because
Thanks.
I think we were kind of haters for Deep End.
Well, yeah.
And I think maybe it wasn't that bad.
Shannon, please.
This book made me think Deep End wasn't that bad.
Wow. It was just, it's a very different, it's almost like 2 separate categories of romance. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just the way it's written. I don't know how else to say other than it's just the way, because there is like, this gives... Like, I don't know if it was indie published at first, but this gives indie published. I'm sorry if this sounds less offensive, but you know what I mean? Like, it's
bad.
It gives, like, not, like, super edited. It gives not, like, didn't get a lot of, like, peer review. It gives, like, not a top publisher published this. I don't know.
I don't know either, because I don't read enough of this genre.
Yeah, you don't, yeah. But I checked my numbers.
Oh, what are your numbers?
So
the numbers are in.
So this year, right now, I think I've only done 1, which is
this one?
Yeah. Okay. For romance. Last year I did 6.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's total 7 for this last year and this year, and you had 4 for the past 6 years.
I wanted to like it. Well, I'll go into more about why I didn't like this book very much. But like a book kind of, for it to be 1 star for me, needs to like truly anchor me.
Yeah, 1 star's crazy.
It needs to like upset me and go against my sense of decency.
Wow.
And this book did. But I'm gonna try to not be a hater.
Yeah, don't be a big hater. You can be a little hater.
I'm going to try to be a little hater. Because I think this is actually the book that we've reviewed so far on this podcast where we probably... Like, I know you're not ride or die for this book.
No, yeah.
But this is probably the book where we've had the most differing opinion,
yes.
I feel.
Because I think I'm giving it either a 2 or a 2.5. Maybe a 2.25. Let's just say 2.25. Because for me, maybe a 2.5 because I was entertained.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so fair.
For me,
that's fair.
like a book to be that low, it has to be a book that I was just like could not read. Like it was boring and like bad. But for me, it was bad, but it wasn't boring.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah,
like that's so fair. Mm-hmm. But that's why I'm very excited for this podcast because we usually agree.
Yeah,
on most books, and so yeah, let's just get into it.
So. I know it's such a simple concept for the book, you know, fake dating, kind of like, they're kind of not rivals, but they're like annoyed at each other at first. They're like from different lives. Like he's the jock. She's like the, you know, the not nerdy, but she's like, you know, the nice girl studying music, arts, I guess theater girl almost. And, you know, strike a deal, fake dating. Like that's such a classic, like almost fanfic style of a plot. Like it's like those old One Direction. So very simple, but I do like that. I do like that. I will eat that up. I will eat fake dating up. That is so yummy to me because I love rivals. I love when there's that conflict between them. So I did really like that. But yeah, I think that just the way that it was executed, the writing's not very good. There's a lot of cringy stuff. Like I got quite a few lines that are just very cringy, and not the best like plot structure. And yeah, it's just the type of book. That's the thing, because I knew this is going to be like this. I'm not surprised. It's hard for me to even judge. I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Shannon, what do you think about the concept? I know you're a hater. Give us your hater. give us the hate.
I hate being a hater, guys. I really do. I want to be a lover, not a fighter.
It's like
I said this earlier while we were talking about this book, but I called it Evil Deep End because this book is about fake dating, and we thought Deep End was going to be about fake dating. Yeah. And I thought this book was going to be more of a sports romance book.
And it was not.
But they basically never played hockey.
No. I truly thought it was going to be a hockey romance.
Yeah.
Like, I've recommended this to people who like hockey. I'm like, I've heard this one is really good. It's a hockey romance. It's not. We don't see them play hockey.
There's like one scene where she's watching them play hockey.
But it's kind of like...
And it's like 2 pages.
It's kind of like if we said this was like a singing romance. Like, not singer, but like an arts romance, which is not.
It has the same kind of percentage of the book.
In fact, I think we see her singing more than we see, like, her in classes and stuff, than we see him playing hockey. Tricked us. We've been tricked once again.
We've been tricked again. Give us a real sports romance book for next year.
A real fake dating. I guess, and the thing is, this book wasn't even fake dating. And
no, it wasn't.
It was more like the whole thing was that he would just take her on a date at this party. But that was it. And technically, I guess it was a fake date, but it was also a date. Like, they were going on a date at the party. But they weren't dating any other time, which is different from the show. The show does that differently, but it's not even fake dating, actually, Shannon. What is this book?
No, they are very close with each other, like physically and intimately, like very early on.
Yeah.
And like
they're just like friends, and then they like start trusting each other, and they get physical, and that's when they start falling in love. But it's more like the friends thing.
Yeah.
It's more like friends to lovers, I think. I don't know.
It's not really. Because they're not friends.
But they become friends.
Yeah, but they go from acquaintances to lovers. Like,
I suppose.
Like, they're more lovers than they're ever, like, actually friends. Friends to lovers is like, we've been friends forever. Now I have a crush on you, but I'm worried about ruining the friendship.
Yeah.
And they were not worried about ruining the friendship.
Kinda.
No. He was so ready.
Guys, but a trope that I love, he fell first and he also fell harder. Man, tied that shit up. I'm sorry. I know it's not great, but anyways, writing wise, we know it's not the best. We know that. I know that, just talking about this and like the series, like it's the whole series that each book is about one of the hockey players and their romance. I wonder if because now she has this series, which is the Off Campus, and then there's the Briar U series, which is after, and then I think she might have other books or just like companions and stuff. I wonder if like by the end of it she's improved, because this is the first one on a very long series, so I wonder if
but it's not her first book.
It's not.
It's like her fifth book.
I guess, but it's just, I don't know. I think like once she's like more deeper into the series, I mean like the world and everything, if things are different, or if it kind of stays the same style.
I'd be interested. Now, I'm never going to read another book in this series, but I would be interested in is how you felt about the dual POV in this book. Because there's two like main things in terms of the writing that I kind of want to talk about. One is that we both get her POV, Hannah's, and Garrett's POV. And the second is that it's a very strong voice for both of them.
Yes.
It's written in first person. And there's a lot of like slang. There's a lot of like character. Good, mostly bad, but also good in that voice that she uses for the book. So how did you feel about that?
Like, you mean like how they're pretty distinct?
Did you feel like the different POVs were extinct?
So.
Did you feel like did you think both POVs were required?
I like it because it's about the fake. I think it works with fake dating because we want to know what both of them are thinking. Because obviously, and not just the fake dating, just the romance. I think it works with this one because they weren't supposed to fall in love. So we're hearing him like realizing his feelings and not fully wanting to like express them, and her kind of realizing his feelings and not expressing them, and then them coming together. So, and then there also a lot of them, which we'll go deeper into the characters later, but both of them have traumas basically. that affects the way that they are, and they aren't open right away, but it's nice getting that as the reader and already knowing like what's up. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I disagree.
Okay.
I don't think we needed his POV at all.
Yeah,
in fact, I think his POV makes the book worse.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing how that would have gone without him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely don't think like it could have been just from her POV. It is true.
Yeah. Just because you brought it up, but the writing is very like, I know it's written in first person. Literally, the first paragraph of this book is like, oh, I see this guy across the way. Wow, he's super hot. I think, and that's fine. Like that's fine. Whatever. Yeah. I think he's a really hot guy. But, you know, ever since I was sexually assaulted all these years ago, and I'm like, whoa, we're like one paragraph in, you know? Yeah. Like, we are not burying the lead. We're not like going to keep the reader interested in knowing more. Yeah. Like, we're just going to say it. And that is not interesting. Like, that's not an interesting way to write the book. That's true, yeah.
I don't think it was dealt with the best way. And then also, before we dive into it, that is the trigger warning. There is mention of sexual assault. We don't see any of it, but there's mention of sexual assault and domestic violence. So just a heads up. But yeah, and again, like that's something that when we talk about the show, I think the show did way better because it wasn't talked about.
Yes.
There were like little like flashes of her memory, and then we would see how she would react with certain things, but we only find out fully what happened when she tells Garrett.
Yeah.
Which is way later on.
Yeah, but the writing is probably, if I'm gonna pick something, probably my least favorite part of this book.
Yeah, for sure. I think if the writing had been better,
like it could have been salvageable.
It could have been something. Yeah.
It could have been salvageable, but it just was nothing about it was, to me, gripping to read. Fair. The way it was written.
Yeah. So another thing that I personally like with these kind of books is that they're most of the time are revolving around a group of friends, and then like I said, like the series will follow each friend, and it's so cheesy, obviously, just like, and then each friend is like, it's giving like Bridgerton, but not the same thing, but you know what I mean? Like Bridgerton follows each sibling. So this is like, there's a lot of book series where it follows a group of friends or a group of siblings and stuff. And I love that because I love just being there and getting to know each character, and they end up being like different, and they're all like lovable and in a way. And so it's kind of fun seeing that. So I liked The Boys, but I think that, and this is, again, something I'm going to go more into later, I do think that the show, because I did watch the full season, its show did affect my view of them now. So I definitely like them more because of the show than in the book. I can definitely see how in the book there were like a lot. They were just like kind of gross and kind of like just, womanizers. And they didn't treat Hannah the best at times, I feel like. And just like in the show, what they do is just, they make them kind of like that, but they also like, they're very respectful, and which is a weird thing to say, but the conversations that they have are very like, they make the boys like quite respectful and nice. So it's kind of wholesome in the show. But in the book, I don't know. I do like Hannah as a character. Like, again, I don't like the way she's written and her thoughts and how it was written. But I think I like her as a character. I like the other characters too. I don't love like her friends that much. I like Allie, but I don't really like care about her group of friends. But yeah, I don't know. I just like seeing group of friends hanging out and getting to know each of them. Tell me your thoughts, Shannon. Hit me.
And then I come in. I personally did not find any character likable in this book, especially Garrett. Did not like Garrett at all, very much at all.
Yeah.
Which made it hard to root for their romance.
Okay.
I also didn't especially like Hannah, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is partly because of how he views like women.
Yes.
And he talks about women. Yeah. This like book felt to me very misogynistic. Yeah. Like the way he initially sees Hannah, like the book is also tonally misogynistic. Yeah. Because you will have Hannah who's thinking about when she was sexually assaulted, and we'll cut to like Garrett's POV. By the way, the POVs are just like flip back and forth in chapters themselves. So we'll cut to Garrett's POV like in the first chapter, and he's thinking about how hot Hannah looks. That's the first thing he does.
Yeah.
And one of the things I hated the most about him is that when he eventually falls in love with Hannah, it's because he thinks she's the first person to start connecting with him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have you tried connecting with anyone else?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like, because he has a conversation with another girl that he sleeps with at the start of the book. And I hear this is handled differently in the show with Kendall.
Yeah.
In the book, he stops sleeping with her because she wants to start being his girlfriend and he doesn't have time for a girlfriend. But the excuse that he comes up with, well, his reasoning is because, you know, like, why do you want to be my girlfriend? You don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe she wants to get to know you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. He definitely like
you didn't give her the opportunity to get to know you. Like, maybe you could have started, like, maybe that could have been happening. And literally just because Hannah's the first person he starts opening up. I get why you would make that emotional attachment with someone, but it doesn't make me believe that your relationship is going to last. It doesn't make Hannah special in my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's just the first person you've come across that you've let yourself talk to about, like, those things. Like, you haven't spoken to your friends about, like, any of the stuff that you've dealt with. And at the end of the book, he starts doing that. I, like, just don't believe that... And this just goes down to, like, I guess their chemistry or whatever. I just don't believe that they will be together in the future. Again, this is just my
That's a valid point, yeah.
my, like, way I was reading the book. So because of the way that Garrett interacts with Hannah, just, like, I don't know, like, in my head, he just, like, I think he likes her because he's, like, gotten positive reception from her by, like, just talking to her as a friend. Like, I think they would just be good friends. Yeah, like, you know? I don't really buy that this is a great romantic attachment. I just think you guys would be good friends.
Yeah. I think that also something that happens a lot in the book is that he's like, of course she would like me. Like, because he's, like, the, you know, the big hockey player, the captain of the team, the hot guy that everyone's into. So he's, like, never really worried if she's, like, gonna like him or not. He's just like, yeah, obviously.
I'm not a big fan of the jock trope in general.
Yeah.
But you know what I was thinking? I was like, you know who did this kind of romance better? Now, I haven't consumed a lot of this media, but I was like, in High School Musical.
OMG.
I was like, they made Zac Efron a way better jock.
Yeah.
I liked him.
It's because he also liked theater.
Because he also liked theater. He was also a theater
Give
kid.
him all other, like, hobbies. Give a jock another hobby.
Give a jock another hobby. Anyway, but my this guy had no hobbies except hockey.
Yeah.
So maybe if I know you're more into, like, that kind of character. So maybe if I was more into you know, that kind of guy, or like, you know, I would have enjoyed this book or like his friends better. I do admit that. I do want to share the funniest thing about this book, which is that Garrett will keep, like, insisting that he loves women, though. He's a big woman lover because he'll be like, well, you know, I wouldn't do this thing because I love women. Like, he literally a line from the book. Yeah. And that's just an example of, like, how poor the writing is. But I'm like, I don't believe that, man. Yeah. I also don't believe that you have that thought. Just because you are, like, I'm in your POV and you're having a thought. You're like, good thing I like women, otherwise I would do this totally terrible thing to you. And I'm like, well, that doesn't convince me. Yeah. That doesn't convince me that you would do that.
That's so true.
Or wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can move on.
No,
I feel like I could keep talking about the reasons I don't like Garrett.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, like, I enjoyed this other character insert here, but I can't think of any. So maybe we could move on.
So Shannon's only seen the first episode.
Yeah.
She will not be continuing.
Nope.
So I've been trying to, like, tell her what the differences are. I'm not going to say it just yet because of the spoilers, obviously. But I wanted to talk about just how the show affected my mind. First, I want to talk about that, just, like, how it affected my reading. So I hadn't watched the show before I read the book, but I obviously the show had just come out, and I had seen the trailer, and I was already seeing people's reactions to it, and I knew that people were really liking it. So as I was reading it, I was like, I know this has potential. Like, I can see this on screen. I know they're gonna change things, but I know that this has potential. So I also had that mindset when I was reading it, seeing, like, how it would work for the screen. And also, like, I had already, like, the guys in mind because I was, like, thinking about the actors. And, yeah. And then so after, because I watched the show right away, and I've already watched it twice, guys, because I loved the show. And it's doing really well. Like, truly, it's got, like, a really high score on, like, Rotten Tomatoes. And, like, people are really, like, getting great reviews. So that also, like, clouded my mind. So even now I want to read the next book because I want to, like, read it before the show and then, like, continue following that long. And I did appreciate reading the book before watching the show because I feel like if I had watched the show and then read this book, I would not have had a good time.
I think this just kind of shows what we were talking about earlier, which is like if you just remove the writing,
yes,
take the writing out,
exactly.
you do have like a salvageable concept here.
Exactly. And that's my other point is that the show changed a lot. They changed a lot of the characters, how they were. They changed a lot of the plot, most of the plot, but they kept like the essence or like the concept. And that worked really well. And they like fixed a lot of the misogyny stuff. Like there's not a lot of misogyny in the show. Like I said, like the guys are pretty respectful and it's just like, why are you laughing?
Because it puts it in a very uncanny valley for me.
Well, it's definitely like men written by women. Like, and
yeah.
Which is funny because when you read this book, and then it's funny, I saw a post about that today. People are like praising Elle Kennedy for writing like the men written by women. That's so great. And then people are like, no, that's actually the showrunners. That's actually the show writers, not the book, because that's not how they act.
Because listen, I can believe that like these guys who are frat boys, who are jocks, are misogynistic.
Yeah.
I can totally believe. And in fact, I can believe that could in fact be a character flaw that Garrett has.
Yeah.
And that he overcomes. I could argue that could be called an arc in his book, in this book, where he learns to respect women. I wouldn't say it's executed great, but it is an arc that he has.
Yeah.
But if you start on the respecting women half, it falls into like a I don't believe you anymore kind of vibe. Yeah. Like I still believe that all these hockey guys, like hockey frat boys, are like, well, we love women.
We love women. No, but it is, but it does happen. And it's like, and again, it's like, is it unrealistic? 100%. Does it make the watching the show so much better? Yes, because everyone is really like, that's what people want right now. They just want like a nice, wholesome, like happy show with like good people, that it's not like gross men. Like you're seeing like actually people being nice and like, well, how people should be and how like it's kind of like an utopia type thing, you know, like in a great world. Like obviously not everything is like sunshine and butterflies in the show, but there's like a lot of like good things about it. And so people are like really gravitating to that because it is like a joyful show, I'd say. But yeah, no, I genuinely think it was a really good show and the characters are great. The casting is great. I really am in love with all those men.
That's fair.
I don't know them that well personally in like real life, and I kind of couldn't talk much about. I've been watching all the interviews and they seem great. But yeah, no, I think that it was very well executed. The pacing is great. The changes are perfect. And I think what you should get from this podcast episode is don't read the book, but watch the show. Because the idea for it is fun and it's like a fun time. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think this is fair. This is one of those things where I truly would, like, if you were at all interested in the show, if you had a passing interest in the show, I would skip the book.
Yeah, just skip the book. You don't need it at all.
You truly don't.
Yeah, and if you watch the show and you're like, oh, I want to see what the books are like
then you can
like maybe like only if you really really want to spend your time doing that, which is like I'm gonna do it because she's like, but if you're not even like a big reader and like if you have other things you want to like read and like focus on, like don't read it. Don't do it. But yeah, that is, I would say, the main non-spoilery stuff, and now we want to go into our activity.
Yes, this was exciting.
Yeah, this was really cool.
Yeah.
So we live somewhat close-ish to the place where they shot some of the scenes. So as I was watching the show, it was funny because I had already been to the place where they shot like the university stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's so funny. Like I've been there, and I'm seeing like them romanticize this college life, and I'm like, I know people who went there. Like this is so funny. I kept like pointing it out to Shannon, and then we watched the episode together right before we did the activities. Like we watched the first one, and it was really funny. So we like made the list of where they were gonna go, and then we just went, and I had like passed by those buildings like maybe once, like these specific buildings, so I was almost like more familiar with them from the show, but Shannon had seen them more than me, so she had a different reaction. So when I went, I was looking at like the front of this building where they filmed like when they get out of the classroom, and I'm like, oh my god, that's when Hannah and Garrett did this, and when they come out of the door and they did this, and he spun her around, this is when he called her Mona. We even reenacted the scene. So funny. And that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really fun. I think it's super cool to see somewhere that you've like been before, but like on television. This might sound weird, but like it's like, oh, I think it just puts the place or the building, or like we went to multiple buildings, but like it puts it in a different light and like a different perspective, and it just makes kind of like the mundane thing, like the outside of a building, or like, you know, in a lecture hall or whatever, like it makes it exciting.
Yeah, I know, I like that. I love like visiting movie sets and stuff.
Like, we literally just went outside the library, and it was like, wow, this is, like, so cool.
Yeah, because they did, like, the libraries where they did the lecture, like, outside of where the classes in lecture hall. We, and then we went to the chem building. Yes. Which is outside of her dorm. Yeah, it's actually where her dorm is. So funny. And then we also passed by the theater. Yeah, the music place. Yeah. The music theater that she has her music classes in the show. We didn't get to go inside, but I've been inside before, but that was cool passing by it. And then we also passed by the hockey arena. Yeah. They didn't really show the outside, I don't think, in the show, but they filmed it inside, but we didn't get to go in. Did you picture any of it, the book, like this place though?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So I think it's cool. Yeah. Just to like,
it's good, like seeing
put like an image of like what they were doing like in my head.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. If you're ever, I definitely recommend visiting like little film sets and stuff like that if you're ever around it, because it's always really fun. And like taking photos. I don't know, just like trying to like imagine where the characters are and stuff.
Lore drop about me and Isadora is that when we were like just starting to hang out.
I think it was your first time coming to my house.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We watched an episode of Supernatural. Not gonna say which one. But we watched an episode of Supernatural, and then we walked to the location.
Because you were like, why? This is so familiar. And I'm like, I guess. And then you're like, no, like this is really close to here. And then we Googled it, and it was like 2 streets over from my house.
Yeah. So we walked to where they filmed that episode of Supernatural.
That was so funny. Like it generally like was so random that that was the episode, and we just walked to 2 blocks.
Because you were also just already watching an episode of Supernatural.
I was already watching it, and you.
And then I came in.
You were like, sure, I'll finish watching it with you.
Yeah.
And then that happened. I have a video of us because we like took a little bit of like, look at where we are.
So that cute. It felt. I don't know if you were thinking of that, but I was thinking about that when we were going around. And I was like, wow, this is like the first time we hung out.
Oh, that's cute. Let's just do that more often, Channing.
We should.
Yeah. Another funny thing that I am that this show is like now making me want to do is I'm gonna try to sign up to be like, I've done this before. I've done background acting before, like be an extra on a show.
She's a star.
I'm a star. I was in one Nickelodeon movie. I'm not gonna tell you which one, but I'm like, wait, I could do this again, because it's quite easy to like just sign up, and then they will call you if they need, and you can't sign up for a specific show, but you can just sign up to this agency for background actors. And I'm like, maybe I will do that, and then maybe they'll call me to be an off campus, and then maybe I'm gonna go to the school or like the hockey arena and be
and maybe an extra. You'll lock eyes with the star,
and maybe I'm gonna lock eyes
across the arena.
Are most of them engaged or dating? Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But a girl can dream. A girl can dream.
Maybe a really hot single guy, season 2.
OMG, imagine. Shannon to put ideas in my head. But generally, I kind of just really want to see those men in real life, because I'm like some people can't just look like that. Like, men shouldn't be allowed to be that hot. So I need to see it with my own eyes, just for science, you know? Anyways, another funny thing is that, not funny thing, but a cool thing actually, one of the actors in the show, I'm not going to say which one, but one of the girls who's in the show, she's got a couple of lines, she's in a couple of scenes. She was actually the actress for a short film I directed when I was in film school. Yeah. Do you guys I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I went to film school. So on my final project, the main actress is an Off Campus.
You made a star.
Crazy. So this is like my connection. It's like that thing where you like the third degree thing.
Oh yeah, 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
Is that? I might be. Genuinely, might even be Kevin Bacon. Truly, I don't know who those people know, but I just know that I am like, I guess first degree with her, second degree with them.
Yeah,
I'm second degree with all of the people from Off Campus. Guys, are you guys jealous?
And I'm third degree.
And do you want to know what? The guy who plays Logan, he knows Rachel Zegler. So you know what? I am third degree with Rachel Zegler.
Wow, that's more exciting to me.
I know, you guys. Anyways, literally not important. Just wanted to share. Should we go into spoilers?
We're going to jump into spoilers.
Yeah.
Watch the show. That's our recommendation.
Don't read the book. Okay.
Bye.
So I feel like we've talked a lot. So there's not that much else. Like, I guess right now we're just going to go into maybe some specific things that...
Yeah. Plot. Yeah, that we weren't able to touch on.
In no particular order. Just
Yeah.
anything that comes to our mind. So Shannon, I think you already have something that you want to talk about?
To start off with, this book kind of oscillates weirdly in tone for me between kind of the fun, quote unquote fun, romance and the like kind of darker topics that this book tackles. And I commend the book for talking about these more serious issues. I don't think the book does it well.
No, yeah.
But the one thing that I wish is that these characters' respective... Because the thing for me is that these characters kind of don't change in the book at all. There's kind of no really arc that they go through because all the trauma that they have from like their past, they've kind of already come to terms with at the start of this book.
Sure.
So I was actually thinking about our good friend Allie Hazelwood, who I owe a public apology to, I think. No. I'm like, maybe I was reading this book and I was like, maybe I should give Allie Hazelwood another
reread deep end and then we go back and then you say this. Remember Penelope? Shannon, remember Penelope.
You're right. I just need a reminder. Anyway, but the part of the book that I did like with Scarlett was that she was actively working through her mental block that she was going through in the book with her therapist and her like support friendships that she was building. In this book, Hannah has already seen a therapist at the start of the book, and she at least believes that she has already gotten over, she's healed it. And now, I'm gonna say the one thing I liked about this book. Here it is.
What was your favorite scene, Shannon?
The sex scene.
Yes!
The sex scene. Here's what I liked about the sex scene.
The first one specifically.
Did the rest of them follow up? Not really. But this first sex scene I like because, now, I don't like the circumstances that led to the sex scene because Hannah realizes that if she's going to get with another guy, that she has issues like orgasming with like another guy. And she's like asks Garrett to have sex with her so that she practice orgasming with another guy.
Because there's like no strings. Just like, oh, it's my friend. And now he like, I'll get him to do this for me.
Yeah. And at least the first time they try doing it, Hannah is still struggling with that mental block. So she realizes like in kind of like real time that she actually isn't over it. Like this kind of trauma is not really something you can like get over. Like you can be triggered again by it in like different ways. And she kind of like breaks down because of it. And so I think the way that scene and the way that like Garrett also like the scene also has a little bit of comedy in it, but I actually think does the scene really well.
Yeah.
Because it helps like alleviate some of the like pressure Hannah's putting on herself like in that moment. I also think it's really sweet that Garrett actually does like a little bit of research ahead of time. Like he's like, what should I do to like, you know, make her like safe and like comfortable? Because once he does figure out about Hannah's past, he is very attentive towards her. And that's very nice. However, I wish that after that scene, I wish that it was fleshed out more. Later on in the book, she comes face to face with someone who condemned her at the time. She's from a small town. The kind of news that she was sexually assaulted was like big news, so everyone in the town knows about what happened. She was sort of shamed out of her town, basically. Yeah. And she runs into someone from her town who was like part of the problem, who like really
was just like a friend of the guy who did it.
Yeah. And like called her like a slut and stuff. And that like triggers her again because she's very scared in that moment because she didn't think she would ever meet any of these guys again. That situation becomes more about what Garrett does in that moment because he actually goes up and fights the guy. And I wish we had a little bit more focus on Hannah because afterwards, like Garrett actually has to explain to like his coach to like multiple people about like what provoked him to do that.
That does not happen in the show, by the way.
Oh, great!
He does not tell anyone.
Okay,
in fact, he says that's not my story to tell.
Yeah, okay, that's great because I was like, and then she forgives him, but I'm like, that's crazy, and then like. It's kind of never really brought up again in the book. Nothing really about Hannah's trauma informs her character arc in this book. And at least to me, would have been more interesting if she did have to grapple with it a little more because it would, like, it is an interesting story to tell about how you can, like, think that, like, you're over it. Like, it's in the past, you know, I worked through it with a therapist. She stopped seeing her therapist. Like, she's not seeing her therapist at all in the book. And it would have been nice to just be like, maybe she starts seeing her therapist again. Maybe, like, but the way the book handles it right now, it's as if, like, Garrett is the person that fixes her.
Okay, yeah.
Which
don't like
isn't great.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, in the show, it's actually fixed. Like, that actually is so different. So in the show, she throughout the whole show, something that kind of triggers her and makes her think about that time is because in the show she has to write this original song, and this is different in the book. In the book she's just writing fine, she's not even writing anything, she's just singing. Yeah. In the show she's writing the song, but she can't. And last time, and people are like, why can't you write? Like, just write. What was the last time you wrote? And she's like, last time I wrote was in high school, because in the show she like once that happened to her, she couldn't write anymore. She couldn't like put pen to paper and like be open with her feelings. And so that's something that keeps triggering her. And she has a conversation with her teacher about like opening up and stuff like that. And like there's a lot of emotional conversations that she has. And after Garrett fights in the show, after Garrett fights the guy, they immediately fight. They have an argument about it because she's like, I didn't want you to do that.
I wish they had more of an argument in the book. Like, that's totally what I thought was going. Like, that should have been the third act breakup. Like, it should have been. Which is what happens in the show. Yeah.
Because in the show, they have an argument, and that's something that like Garrett does in the show that it's like not great, in my opinion, is that he does kind of make it about himself-ish. But that's just because he's also has the trauma of like the domestic violence and like the violence from his dad, and this is what this links it together. So he's acting this way because of the way that he is, or that how he's doing. But that's the breakup. In the show, Garrett breaks up with Hannah, and because she's like, you're scaring me, like the way that you react to the violence and everything. And then he's like, oh, I'm scaring you because I'm violent, because I'm like my dad. And then so it kind of becomes about him, and he's like, I can't be with you. And that happens. And he drives away. Hannah has to like bike home, and
he leaves her on the bike.
So that's something that's kind of shitty, because she literally just had an encounter with the guy who's sexually, because in the show it's the actual guy, and then he kind of leaves her in that place. So that's very, very shitty of him. But she's biking home. I think she falls off her bike, or her bike breaks or something. She starts having a breakdown. She calls her mom, and she has a really nice conversation with her mom, because she's like, she's crying. She's like, it's all my fault. And now Garrett's breaking up with me. Like, everything is wrong. And like, you guys can't like move out of the town because of me. You guys are struggling with money, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get out of school or whatever. And her mom's like, okay, what did you do wrong? She's like, tell me what you did wrong. And then she's like, she can't say, because Hannah didn't do anything wrong, but she's blaming herself so much. And her mom's like she knows, because she's done the therapy, but she's still struggling so much. But her mom, like, they have just a really, really nice conversation. So they actually dealt with it.
That's actually, I'm really glad to hear that, because that actually already sounds like way better.
And Garrett does not tell anyone. This is not, no one knows. And then it's another thing that happens. She goes and she finally tells Allie, because she's like, I'm ready to open up. She tells Allie. Allie's like, I knew. She's like, I didn't say anything because that's like I was waiting for you to be ready to tell me, but like, yeah, when you told me that you had a friend that like went through something like this, like I knew you were talking about you. And I don't know, it's just like there's like little things about the show, like for example, when she first goes to a party and she says she doesn't drink, Garrett doesn't really pick up on why, and he's like trying to find a non-alcoholic drink, and then Logan is like, he kind of picks it up because he's like, oh, give her a can because it's closed. And then so there's like little, I don't know, there's a lot of like little things that, because I agree, in the book, like this is an interesting topic to, like, it's good to have like that awareness with that topic and everything. But yeah, I agree, it wasn't really dealt with very well, because it kind of felt brushed off, and like just a little like trauma, like let's just give Hannah a little trauma for like character development. Like, let's make these two people traumatized. But in the show, like, even with Garrett's dad's like the violence and everything, it was also dealt nice. Like,
I can already kind of see that. Like, I again only watched the first episode, but I have the same kind of criticism with Garrett and his history with child abuse, because it definitely feels like in the book it's like, and I will pepper in trauma to make my characters feel deeper than they actually are. Yeah. But already in the first episode of the show, like there's the line that Hannah has like in the first episode where it's like, oh, is that why you play hockey? Because you like beating people up? And then he's automatically like, what? And it just already like informs like the way that he reacts informs a lot about how he actually feels about that. Yeah. And I don't know if this is like dealt with in the show, so this is actually something I'm interested in. But in terms of like hockey being like a very physical contact sport, and like in the like brief flashbacks we see in the first episode, we see like younger version of Garrett, like, you know, punching the wall, getting like physically like aggressive and stuff, and like trying to grapple with the fact that he was kind of pushed into this contact sport, a sport that expects you to be like physically imposing on like the other players and stuff, and how much he doesn't want to end up like his dad.
I think I don't know if they necessarily talk about that in the show. He does like beat up the guy on the rink because it's the guy playing against him.
I already think that's like better.
That's already better. And then he gets kicked out of 4 games, and he can't attend 4 games, which are like pretty important games for them. And also because there's also another thing, because he did like a match with the Bruins. He's not allowed to do that because of rules or whatever. So they actually they make it so that the whole team like loses. Like every game that they won actually is going to be like null, and they lose everything. So they now, like, to get to like whatever the top they want to be, they have to win every single game of the next one. So, and then Gary's like, he can't be the captain, so it makes Logan the captain anyways. Like there's like a whole thing. But another thing with the violence and stuff is that we don't, like, you know how in the book Garrett's just like, yeah, so my dad used to do all these things to me, he did this to me on Halloween and he beat me up every time. Like, that's not, like, it just feels like he's just saying that, you know, like it's just like, let me tell you all these horrible things. In the show we don't see his dad, there's no flashbacks of his dad hitting him. There is like flashbacks of, you see that he might have hit his mom. Garrett is like hitting the wall, and they go to his house for Thanksgiving, and there's a whole scene and he sees like Cindy's arm bruised and everything, and he doesn't tell Hannah. They're in the car and he's like crying to her because he's like, I couldn't help my mom and whatever. And then Hannah's like, did he ever hit you? And he doesn't say anything, and then she gets that's what happened. Wow. And then he starts crying, she hugs him and he starts crying. And that's literally it.
That's like, already way better.
There's no like, it's not overly explained, like it's so subtle, not subtle, but like it's just,
but you kind of you like have trust in your audience that they will pick up on these clues. The same way, like you mentioned earlier, where it's like Logan's picking up on these clues, and you trust that the audience will also pick up on these clues.
It just makes it so much better. And again, like even with Hannah's sexual assault, like we don't want to be hearing about it over and over. We don't want to keep her harping on it. Like, it's not something that's nice to hear about, but it's like, give us the little clues, like make it mean something. Because in the book it almost doesn't mean anything. It's just thrown in there. So yeah, that's another reason why the show is better.
I want to talk about the actual like third act conflict in the book, which is like way different. It's so silly in the book. In the book, Garrett's dad, like after this whole incident at the rink, which is handled differently in the book, but the incident kind of similarly does happen. Garrett's dad like corners Hannah and says for her to stop dating his son because obviously she's like getting him in trouble and like distracting him from hockey. And he's like, just go, no contact with him, cut him off. Otherwise, I'll cut him off, like financially, because I pay his tuition, I pay his hockey fees, I pay for his car. And if I don't do those things, then he can't play hockey anymore. And that's his one true love. And you're not going to go tell him because he's going to choose you. And you know that. So she just like agrees.
Which is valid.
No.
She's like, well, it's like she just doesn't want to ruin his life, and she feels like she knows that he would choose her, and so. But she's stupid because she doesn't know like he's got like money. But what I did like about that, which is it's again not in the show at all, but I liked that for the first night he's like really sad and hurt, but then after that he's like, there's something up. Hannah's just not breaking up because she wants to see other people, and I thought it was funny how he kept like is it annoying? Yes, because he's not respecting her wishes, but he's also like, he just can't tell that this is that something is up. And I liked how he kept going to him like, so how many people have you seen? Because you want to see new people, right? Like, tell me. And she's like, right.
I think if I liked Garrett more, I think could see how that would be funny.
Yeah, I did like that.
I think it's a bit stalker behavior.
But yes.
But I can see in a well-written book that is funny.
Yeah.
But this gets resolved really quickly because on Garrett's birthday, he inherits a trust from his grandparents, so he actually gets money. And also, the stupid thing, we as the audience know about this trust because we are in Garrett's POV and he's mentioned it multiple times. He's like, I can't wait till my birthday because then I'll write my dad a check and then I won't have to rely on him anymore. And it's like, the moment it happens, we're like, oh, we know how this is going to be solved.
There's no like stakes.
There's no stakes to it at all. Yeah. So we're just reading 30 pages of them pining after each other for no reason, and then they get back together in the bookends.
Yeah. I actually like, you just reminded me of something that we were talking before, the whole thing with hockey. After he beats up the guy, his dad actually goes up to him and he says he's proud of him. Yeah.
Wow.
So that actually, and then Garrett's like, you're proud of me for beating up someone? Like, and then there's a whole conversation and they like really argue. Okay. So I think that works too.
That's great.
Showing that. And then the whole thing in the book, Garrett loves hockey. He's like, right from the get-go, he's like, I know that my dad was like, forced me into this, but I actually love it. Like, I like it because I like it. In the show, that is also something that he's going through. That he's like, I don't know if I actually love hockey. And he tells Hannah, he's like, I feel like if something happened to me and I couldn't play hockey, I think I would be relieved. And
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, he says that. But then when he gets kicked out of hockey, he's still like going to see the guys and he's wants to watch it and stuff. And he keeps being like, I think I'm going to quit. And then there's one time when he's just playing and she goes to see him in the arena. He's playing by himself. And he's like, I think I might just quit hockey. And then she's like, remember when you told me that if you had been something happened and you were out of hockey, you'd be relieved? Like, that's, instead of being out relieved and living your life, you're here. Like, you're in the arena playing because you like it. And that's like how so I like that they added that to him.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I like that a lot, especially because if you're stuck in something for so long, I can already sort of see, like, you kind of wish something, I mean, this sounds bad, but it's like kind of signifying like how mentally distressed he is, that he's like, you kind of wish something terrible to happen to you so that you can get yourself out of this situation. Yeah. Wow, that's actually really cool. I like that a lot.
When he's watching the guys, he gets really excited. He's like yelling and like being very excited about the game. So he's actually watching. He's like, he likes it. So I like that because it's not just in the book. He's like, no, I love it. I have no issues with it. They have like no internal issues. I feel like that they're battling through. Actually, I wanted to just talk a little, like, just quickly about the reception of the show, because I've been hearing a lot about the book fans not like a lot of the book fans like the show. A lot of the book fans are really mad about the changes.
Really?
So they're like, but like dumb stuff. Like they're like, oh, they don't watch Breaking Bad in the show. I can't believe we don't have the scene where like Garrett says this thing. I can't believe like they changed it so that the break is so different. Like, hate that. And like, I get that if you're a big lover of the book, you were expecting it to be the same, but like, guys, come on, it's better. Like, they literally made it so much better. Like, do we really need to see them binge watching Breaking Bad? Like, really, we do not.
All the references are really dated.
I know. And then they're like, oh, they don't even talk about her being obsessed with One Direction. I'm like, they actually do mention it when they mention.
They do. They mention the first episode.
That she wrote an essay about the harmonies of One Direction. Yeah. I'm like, see, they peppered. And there's actually a scene where Justin sings with his band a One Direction song.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, it's just more subtle. It's just not like, so everything's not so in the nose. And then people are really mad that there's like another couple. It follows the romance of another couple, which is in the third book in the series. And I'm like, guys, that's just like good storytelling, because we can't just be stuck with this one couple, which is like, and actually I think the showrunner said this, that they don't want to do like what Bridgerton is doing, where they focus on one couple and then the next season the couple's not even there and we're focusing on the other couple. Like, no, we love all these characters. They are supposed to all be interacting and be together. So like, why not mix in the stories? Like that's just like that's how a TV show should be. And then the next season, there's like stuff from Garrett and Hannah's stuff that's just unresolved that we're probably going to follow too. But then we're going to follow the next couple. I don't know. It was well done, guys. That was a good show. So stop complaining about the show. Don't be haters. You can be a book hater though. That's okay. But not enough that they don't want to make another season, because I need these to keep going because I really like it. They're already filming season 2. So keep an eye out for when I'm an extra in that. Don't miss.
So yeah, that was our opinions on The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Did you read the book? I don't know if we... This sounds so mean. Did you watch the show? What was your opinions on the show? Let us know. You can email us at betweenthebookspod@gmail.com. You can leave a comment on Spotify, on YouTube. You can even rate us 5 stars if you enjoyed this episode. Next episode is super exciting because it's a special episode because we have reached our 1-year anniversary. Yay! So we're just going to be doing a little wrap up of like our first year, like what books we enjoyed, what activities we enjoyed. And yeah, we will see you in the next episode.
Bye!